A beautiful day, and I think this is the first time I've not had a jacket on and doing these virtual wildflower walks, which is just wonderful. Up here on the western flank of the greens, the trees are budding but no leaves yet. A 15-minute drive to the west and the Middlebury-Addison area is just bumping with leaves. But up here we still have flowering Dutchman's breeches and a number of ephemerals that are quickly doing their thing before the canopy comes in within the next week or two. Another wonderful plant that many people, I think, do not know the benefits of is this little one right here, which will become bigger. This is Arctium lapa or Arctium minus, hard to tell, but you will know it as the great burdock. Burdock is how we have the technology of Velcro, so we can thank burdock for that. But burdock first year plants are wonderful food, highly nutritive, very helpful for the liver, but for restoring energy and vitality to the entire body. You can take burdock for long periods of time. There is a mild bitterness that's much less the plant is much less bitter early in the year. If burdock is a 2-year-old plant, the stem, this one might be a 2-year-old plant because it's a pretty woody root. A first year plant will be very edible and much more tender, but I typically will peel the root. This, I think, was a 2nd year burdock, because you can see that's not really the most palatable. I could still eat that inner part, but the first years are much better. You can also use the leaf. The leaf of the great burdock can get quite big, and soaked in the summer when they're at their peak in apple cider vinegar and put on sore joints is a really great older folkloric remedy to help with arthritic pain. The stems of burdock are also edible and a great addition to stir fries or frittatas or sautés. Burdock gets such a bad rap.
It does, indeed.
And it should not. Look at that. Beautiful root. I'm going to wash it. I'll give it a little scrub. I'm going to use this little peeler and peel it and then chop it up and put this in. Like this morning I made a sauté with rice and beans and nettles and dandelion leaf and root and ramps, and this would have been a great addition. So a little review of some plant allies that we've met in the past. This is a blue cohosh up here on the flank of the mountains. This one's just coming out of the ground and flowering, but down in the valley, the blue cohosh is looking more like this. And this will develop into a woody stem and look more like a very small shrub with time. We also have cutleaf toothwort, a great edible that corm or root will taste like a mild horseradish. We've got some small ramps back here growing, and this one is a wake robin trillium, not yet open, but you can see the petals. Trilliums can live to be well into their 70s and were used medicinally at one point to help induce childbirth and to help with issues with menstruation. So here we have a little shrub. This is elderberry. Elderberry is almost hollow inside, has a really, really soft phylum or pith, and I've heard it referred to as whistlewood because it's really easy to hollow out the center of old elderberry and turn it into a whistle. Elderberry is known as a wonderful tonic for coughs and colds, great remedy. There are 2 main elderberries, the blue and the red. The red elderberry actually is mildly toxic, so you would only want to chew or use the blue elderberry. There are some reports that you should not eat elderberry raw. I have on a few occasions with no problems, but some herbals recommend that you always prepare elderberry and cook them as a syrup. or I've recently made an elderberry jam that was really delicious. So elderberries can grow to be quite big as a shrub and are often used as ornamental, but also are a very common small woodland shrub. Red trillium, or wake robin, thus named because their beauty is touted to wake the robins up that they sing. Really gorgeous little gem. And behind me is hobble bush. Although the bane of backcountry skiers in the East Coast, hobble bush are great plants. They flower and berry every other year, and looks like this individual is going to have a berry year. And the blue fruit that comes late in the summer is highly edible if you can get them before the birds. Violets, or the genus name Viola, are lovely plants. Many of us also have them in our gardens, but they grow prolifically out in the forest. However, almost all of them are edible, except this little yellow guy. And there are a few other yellow species. The yellow violets are the only ones that I do not eat, but all of the purples, the whites, the lavenders, wonderful additions to salads, and such a delicate flower. Should this have been a purple violet, the flower and the leaf are both edible. In Native American folkloric lore, they talk of a story how there was a great amethyst crystal in the center of the earth, and the earth turned the crystal into violets to help us cure cancer. So it is used in some Ojibwe and other nations or as an adjunct to help with cancer. And in that, I like to give violets myself to those I know who are fighting the battle of cancer. Okay, this is winter cress, and this is my best trail buddy Poppy, who was just foraging himself. Winter cress here, this woodland wonderful individual, is beautifully brilliant, about to flower, so starting to get a little bitter, but this plant still is quite tasty. And these leaves would be a great addition to put in with a salad. This is Sedum, or Floor's pine, often used in gardens as an ornamental, but also quite prolific in the woods, and a delicious little nibble and edible. I think Floor's pine tastes a little bit like cucumber, and they're succulent leaves, great additions to salads, or a wonderful little snack while you're out for a walk. So emerging all around me is the Canadian Mayflower, and you'll see mayflowers everywhere. Although not flowering just yet, they will certainly in the next couple weeks send up a little tiny spike of white flowers and makes the forest just smell so sweet. There is an interesting little folklore with the mayflower that if you dig up the corm and put them in your pocket, it will give you good luck, particularly with games. So maybe you'll want to try your hand in poker.